VoyMonk video voice vlog. I got it out. I did it. Yesterday was kind of weird. When I'm doing these voice vlogs, I do it on my memo thing here on my phone, and I record it. It was really weird. Towards me talking about sports and doing my vlog towards the end, I got a call. It was the pharmacist. And I didn't need to answer the phone, but it was really weird because I was talking. My ADHD set in, and boom. So if towards the last minute or so of that, I didn't hold it together quite so well, I apologize. But this is what happens when you don't edit and that sort of thing. I did want to wrap up this week as far as talking about sports, which I hadn't expected to talk about sports. I don't think I'm going to be talking about sports very much in the future, or maybe ever again. No, I'm just going to, whatever. But the point is, I'm just talking about my experience with sports and, what my experience has been with it. And I was talking about competition yesterday, and this is going to be about the spirit, not of sports, but spirit of competition. And one of the things that, I kind of look to in terms, because I don't want this to be about back then versus now. And like I said, this is not an attack. This is just experience, my criticisms. But somewhat, one of the better examples that I have is, and I may have even mentioned this in a vlog before. I don't think I have. But the thing of it is that one of the things that I remember as an experience growing up, probably late 80s, early 90s, and we've always had a USA team in the Olympics. However, with the fact that Jordan was, I had the distinction of being around and being able to watch Jordan when he flourished and was basically the GOAT in a lot of what he's described, which is accurate. But the thing of it is that, basketball was a pretty big thing. I mean, it had always been a big thing. But as far as Olympic, I don't ever remember having quite as much attention as it did towards the early 90s, maybe late 80s, early 90s, and so on. But the thing that I remembered vividly was the fact that it was truly an exceptional thing because, like I said, if you liked basketball, and I did follow basketball, and I liked basketball, and it was at a time that it was fun to watch, especially when Jordan was playing. But the thing is that there are a lot of key players, a lot of great, players from all different teams and stuff, which I don't know. I don't watch a lot of basketball now, but I really don't feel or get the same sense, mostly because it seems as if, like I said, there's just a lot of stacking as far as the teams. It's like, it seems as if there's a handful of teams, and the way that they get forward or through, maybe with the exception of the last few years, and I could be wrong, and maybe I should watch more games now, and I don't want to speak out of turn entirely. But my point is that back in the early 90s, the formation of the Dream Team, as it was coined, was Jordan and Patrick Ewing and Charles Barkley. I mean, literally the cream of the crop as far as the NBA had to offer, which was cool. But the thing that kind of always was a bit of, a thing easily observed is that when they put Team USA together, and obviously there were some, controversies, and there's documentaries on ESPN about that kind of thing. But the thing is that these were the best players in the league of the NBA representing the USA. The thing about it is that, it wasn't like anybody had to tell you, though, because if you watched any of the games, if you especially heard about any of the games that were played by Team USA, let's just simply say that you probably didn't need to watch any of the games to know exactly what was going to happen as a foregone conclusion. And so, and what I mean by that, I don't mean like they simply dominated. I mean, it was as if, the other team needn't bother showing up. I mean, it was that one-sided by a landslide. And the thing of it was is that, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, basketball's a big and a huge sport at the time then, and a bit more now. It's gotten better, and I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, it was a landslide. I mean, it was never a question of who was going to win gold. The only, question mark might have been is who's going to be, silver and bronze. But I didn't. I mean, I understand the excitement. I mean, seeing some of the best players actually play with one another, for the Team USA. But it's like, how was it really even something of worth besides that fact, right? I mean, it was more of a spectacle rather than it being a sport. And the thing is that some people really couldn't have been happier with the fact that, their team and their pride was tied to this fact that, the best of our best was playing against those who probably had a lot of different reasons why they weren't the greatest at basketball. And frankly, it really didn't matter. But you had people that were proud. You had people that were excited. And I don't think it was all for the same reason. I mean, obviously showing the unity that, the country was backing, Team USA. But the whole point is that I didn't necessarily think or find or whatever the excitement over the fact that there wasn't any real competition. I mean, because to me, I mean, keep in mind, I don't mind if our team is simply just dominant, and of course that's what I would rather prefer, but I would rather it be because of the skill set and the fact that it was literally about who was really the better team as opposed to a lot of other variables and factors that went along with the fact that we were dominating, but not simply because we were the better players. And that is something that I would say that other than just that time, I mean, I don't think it was something that was, looked upon as a bad thing. Not everybody felt that it was just, the greatest thing that, anytime that Team USA played, we won by such a landslide that it was barely even worth it, besides just seeing the team play. I mention that because of the fact that, it's about the intention, it's about the meaning, it's about my basic overall point when it comes to sports, and the thing that I touched on a bit yesterday in terms of why a team loses or wins being more important than the fact that they simply win or lose, because winning or losing is literally a part of the game. It's stitched in. And the fact that somehow it becomes about something else, it becomes more about business, it becomes more about ego, it becomes more about people being kind of encouraged to, understand that it's a sport and they're having fun, turn off their brains, and simply go with raw emotion that isn't really about or means anything. And so when I explain that thing about the Team USA and what I kind of gathered from that, it's like, I think some people would rather win and win by a landslide by any means, even if it's just a sport and for fun and something that's supposed to be about competition rather than about simply the act of beating someone and winning a game. I mean, like I said, everybody wants to win, and certainly, it's something that should be earned. But to go that far and completely ignore all else in terms, I don't know, that doesn't seem anything to do with actual sports. And it certainly doesn't have anything to do with the spirit of competition, which I've always kind of thought that was supposed to be the purpose behind sports in reality, outside of the fact that, practically every year, everything that you're going to see is just going to be a replay in some sense in terms of what you see last year. I mean, sure, it will be a different team. Sure, it might be different players, but there's really nothing, at least in my opinion, that's going to happen outside of physics or physical possibility to that great extent that really hasn't always, or is possible, even if it's not often, or sometimes rare events may happen, or situations of physicality may occur. But be that as is, as I'm saying, I think what's actually important is, not just necessarily when a team wins or loses, but the the social aspect and the spirit of competition, and actually, hopefully, in an effort, even if you win or even if you lose, showing exactly how you can do that on both ends. And like I said, when I talk about sports, hopefully it's not seen as attack or whatever, but I think what I see it lacking in its ability to fulfill more now than ever, and that's just not sports. I mean, that's a lot of other things, and you'll see parallels between this and a lot of other things, news, entertainment in general. Although I don't see sports as strictly entertainment, I do see that as some great social benefits, as do some of the other things as well, but in different ways. And so, like I said, when it comes to sports, yeah, these are the types of things that, I consider, I think about. And I'll bring up sports. I may talk about my favorite team and all that kind of stuff or whatever. But if I speak about it, it's probably not going to be in the same. First of all, it's probably not going to be often because I'm not. It's hard. It's for me to follow sports in leagues the way that I once did, and even if I didn't do it as close before, but I just don't want to make it a thing as far as contention and this or that, because it also leads into sometimes petty and silly arguments, which like I said, I'm not here for drama or anything like that. But I just explain as far as I think sports is a very big social life experience, and that's why I'm sharing it. And I dedicated an entire week of my vlogs unconsciously and unconsciously about it. But yeah, I do like sports, and I like what they can be, and I still watch some, and I still enjoy the Olympics from time to time and that sort of thing. But I like the spirit of competition. I like a hard-fought battle. I like to dominate and win as well, but like most things, I like to know the reasons why and the substance, as well as just some of the other details in the overall outcome. So that's me. That's my, I guess, my experience and perspectives as far as sports. And like I said, it's not that I won't ever bring it up. And like I said, if there's things for me to talk about in anything, there's definitely no guideline against sports as far as it's just not something I have an overall interest in. What I do, I don't know. Just like with, I'm no authority. I don't make any determinations. My opinion is not the most important or valid or philosophy or anything. It's just a guy talking into his phone and having fun and doing vlogs and creating the content that's hopefully, you enjoy. So, yeah, if you do, like I said, you know what to do. This is a Friday vlog, but like I said, it's this one's going to be the short one. So thank you for listening. And I think that's going to do it for me for now. So until next time, take care.